Good afternoon. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 3 of Storytime with Grandma Coyote. I am Manuel Davila, your co-host this afternoon. I'm joined here with the ever-talented Emma Ortega, Grandma Coyote, doing Part 3. I can't believe we're already 3 seasons in.
Yeah.
So, never thought that this program would last this long.
Yeah.
And this program is a part of the City of San Antonio's initiative, part of Poetry and Literature Month, where we'll be showcasing literary talent all throughout the city. This is our gift to the city of San Antonio, offering indigenous programming to the city, to the state. I always love this part of the year because you and I just get to hang out on the couch.
Yes.
Yeah, share
We
stories.
have a different couch today.
Yeah, slightly one brought us a little bit closer today, a little cozy. We're here. Right. Oh, I can't believe we're almost through April already too. But it's the middle of strawberry season down here in San Antonio. Strawberry Festival's in full swing, and so we're going to bring in some of our favorite stories that bring up stories about animals and stones, and definitely going to bring in the strawberries this next episode. Anything special we should be thinking about today, Grandma?
Something just went through my mind. I'm bringing back to Coyote. I love Coyote. Of all the animals, he's my favorite. Because we are a little bit of Coyote. When Grandpa made the animals first, he gave them all special gifts, and we were supposed to watch and listen and learn. Well, Coyote really demonstrates who we are at some time or another. He's sometimes very arrogant. He's very greedy. He's very lazy. But we don't know people like that. But he's also very clever. He gets himself into all kinds of trouble. But because he is so clever, he gets himself out of them. And all along that he's getting himself into trouble, he's teaching us how we get into trouble. But there's always a solution. If we look for it, we just have to think about it and not say, poor me, I can't do it, I'm in this trouble and that. No, he's also teaching us how we can get out of it. And there's some wonderful stories about him. One that came to mind like that is that Coyote is by the river one time, and I hadn't planned on telling this one, it just came. And there's a tree right next to him. And he looks in the water and he sees all these plums in the water. So he dives into the river to get the plums. He just gets all wet and comes out and he can't get any plums. So he looks again and there's all the plums again. So he jumps into the water again to look for the plums. All day long he's been in the water trying to get the plums. And in the evening his wife comes along and he said, woman, there's some wonderful plums in here in the river. And I've been trying to get them, but I can't. So she gets a stick and hits him on the head and, you fool, the plums are on the tree. What you're seeing is a reflection of the plums. You're not going to get up there. Go home. So that's it. And so sometimes the wife has to be the smart one and pull him out of the troubles that he gets himself into. And why that story came to mind, I don't know. But actually, it's a story told in the movie Smoke Signals. The story is being told there about Coyote. But in the story, she hits him with a frying pan on the head, not a stick. So crazy that he came up. So I'm going to bring him back again today.
Yeah.
Today, I've missed him. The other stories were great. I enjoyed them. There were teachings. They were good lessons, but I miss Coyote.
Yeah. We haven't heard about him in a couple episodes.
Yeah, I know. We hadn't brought him out. And so this week and next week, he'll be making an appearance, and so will other animals. They'll be doing more healing.
Good.
But animals, so it's something to look forward to.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. We're excited.
Yeah, so.
Grandma, I love your jewelry. That's all all
Oh.
nice. Did you make this one too?
Yeah, this one is
Yeah.
my textile jewelry. Um,
I love it.
it's kind of different, and it's kind of fun, and
So colorful.
Mhm.
I like them.
and so I thought, well, and I didn't have earrings for it. So yesterday when I decided, I think I'll wear my jewelry, and I don't know what I'm going to wear, what blouse or what. So I thought, well, I've got yarn and I've got rope, and so there I made my earrings.
Oh, you just made those yesterday?
Yesterday I made them.
Oh, cool.
It was a fun weekend. I had my heart, my grandbaby with me, my great grandson,
Oh, good.
and it's always fun. It's creative. We wrote stories. We talked. We just had fun. That was
Mhm.
it. We just enjoy each other. Enjoy cooking because I really don't cook for myself,
Mhm.
but for him, and no matter what I cook, it's always, oh, Grandma, this is the best of the pancakes. You make the best eggs or whatever. It's just pancakes and eggs and meat and that. But he's such a good eater. He makes you feel good. And
Mhm.
so Friday night, I don't know why, I said, how about some pancakes? He said, yeah. So I made pancakes. Again, oh, Grandma, these are the best pancakes in that. And so I ate one, and it was good.
So maybe you don't even know how good your pancakes are.
Yeah, so then Saturday morning, I said, what do you want for breakfast, sweetheart? He said, can I have pancakes? I said, yeah. So I made more pancakes, and I tasted them, and I thought, well, maybe it was just yesterday. No, they did come out good. And then yesterday morning, I said, what do you want for breakfast? He looked at me, pancakes again? So I just made some pancakes again. And they were really good. I really enjoyed them. And they're so easy to make, but
Mhm.
I don't know, I hadn't, I'm going to tell something that I shouldn't because it's going to say poor grandma. But no, the last couple of days, the sink has been stopped up. And
Oh,
I
no.
always bring you stories about my life. Sorry, folks, you're going to hear about it. And it's going, but real slow. I tried everything. The baking soda with the vinegar, the chemical things and all that. It's going, but very slow. So I called Miguel. He's going to come and he's going to take the bottom part of the sink out of that. And we went and we bought paper plates and styrofoam plates so I wouldn't have to wash dishes and that. Well, I forgot that we bought, so I used regular plates. And he said, Grandma, we got dirty dishes. I said, not to worry, we're going old school. He looks at me like, what is she talking about? So I got a pan with hot water and soap, put it in the sink. It was, water had drained down. I washed the plates real good, put them in a big pan, took them outside and rinsed them out in the faucet. It took me back to one of the homes that my mama and daddy and I lived. It was a small room that divided into a little kitchen and the room in front. There was a faucet outside. There was no faucet inside. Later on, they did add one inside, but there was no sink. So mother would do that. Heat
Bring
water,
inside.
wash the dishes, go outside and rinse them out. And I'm going, oh my God, all these years later, I'm doing it. And he thought it was grandma was so clever. I said, well, honey, it's kind of like camping. When you go camping, you've got to wash your dishes too.
Sure.
So it's kind of like camping. So, but he thought his grandma was so clever.
Well, you are clever.
To, old school.
Yeah,
Doing
sometimes the only thing that works sometimes.
All those
doing old school.
experiences that you did in the past, you think you're never going to use them again, and you never know.
Mhm.
You never know. What old experiences do you remember, if any?
Growing up?
Mhm.
Well, actually, I had a really good weekend this weekend too. I took my family on a field trip that went to an aquarium. And we hadn't had a whole family field trip like that since like I was in high school. So like it's been like 15, 16 years since we've done anything like that. And during lunch we went to go get sushi because we were at the aquarium. So weird strange thing that they offer you sushi at an aquarium. But we got sushi for my nephew. Exactly. And it was my nephew and niece's first time eating sushi. And it was really interesting that we gave them a lesson on how to use their chopsticks. And while we were talking about this, my parents told us about the first time that they remember teaching us how to use chopsticks. And so it was like a really interesting story of like, oh, our parents taught us, and then we're teaching our nephews and nieces. And so we're like passing on that tradition. And we didn't have the intention of like passing something on that day. Um, it just kind of happened organically, and it's like you never know what little moments are going to be big moments that you're going to use for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. Like it meant a lot to me to think that I gave my nephew and my niece their first chopstick lesson. And hopefully they'll get better all their lives, doing it and using it, and it's like a skill they'll have now for the rest of their lives.
I have a hard time using them. I try, but I always take a fork with me just in case. Just in case.
I offered them a fork, and they didn't want to use a fork. They wanted to make sure that they understand how to use chopsticks. And I was really proud of them. They wanted to make sure they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, my son and my grandson and my great grandson, when we go out to eat Chinese, my Donovan, they all use chopsticks, and I try, but like I say, I take the fork just in case. It's because it takes so long, and then I see, well, now I see why he eats so low. Okay, now you want to carry the things way up to the top. And as a matter of fact, Saturday night, Thursday night, I had to use chopsticks. Hadn't thought about it. Went to a fashion show, and the theme was around the world in 80 days. So they had foods from everywhere. And one of the things that I got was food from Asia, and they had the chopsticks. I'm going, where are the forks? They didn't have any forks, so I was forced to use chopsticks. Very, very good. I did a good job. I did a pretty good job. Didn't mess myself up too much, but really enjoyed it. And here we're talking chopsticks. The chopsticks it was a weekend for chopsticks. I wonder how many people out there had used chopsticks this weekend. I mean, quite a few, because it was a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, it was beautiful this entire weekend. It's lovely this weekend in San Antonio.
So
beautiful memories.
Yeah.
The season's beautiful right now. We're in the beginning of spring, so finally everything's starting to come back alive.
Yes, I'm
see
surprised.
green again for a long time.
My cenizas are blooming right now, so that's saying water.
Yeah.
So within 4 days, there should be a little bit of water somewhere. No telling where, but somewhere. And the ferns that I had put out, they got plenty of water from what was it? Friday night, Saturday night.
Friday night's rain.
Yeah, it really came down hard. So it was good. Everything got watered. Of course, the grass did too, grew again. And you talked about strawberries. I think I've told the other 2 times that we've been on, last year and the year before last, this story, and it is about the seasons, what fruits we find in different seasons. And there was this young couple that had gotten married, had been so in love, always sweetie and honey and yes dear and the whole thing. Well, something happened one day that the young man became very upset with a girl. And he just told her off, and she started crying, and he wouldn't stop being ugly and kept on going and going and going and talking and making her feel so bad that she just runs out of the lodge and she goes off. And he says, she'll be back. I'm not worried. She'll be back. I don't care if she went crying. She's going to come back. Well, nighttime came and she didn't return. All night long, she was gone. And he got a little bit worried about what happened to her. So in the morning, she's still not back home. So he decides to go to look for her. And as he goes out of the lodge, there is a trail of little plants, and they all have white flowers on them. He had never seen this path before. It hadn't been there the day before. So he decides to follow the path anyway. And as he's going, he sees, looking around, all these little bushes with white flowers. And he keeps going and going and going and finally at the end of the path. and this trail of flowers is the girl. She's still crying, and she's so hurt, and he sees what he has done and how his words have hurt her so much that he gets down and apologizes to her and holds her and, I'm sorry, I've said what I did. I don't know what happened. I promise you I will never, never, never talk to you in that way again. And he's apologizing. Finally, please forgive me. She loves him, and she agrees to it. Yes, he said, but don't you ever do it again. Please, don't you ever do it again, or I will leave. And no, he says, I never, never, I promise you, I never will. And so he holds her, and they're hugging each other, walking back to lodge. And all those bushes that had all these little white flowers on them now have this bright red fruits on them. And he took one, and because never seen him before, and cleaned it and gave it to her, and she took a bite of it. And he took one and took a bite of it. And they're so sweet. But there was still a little bit of tartness in there. And they say that those were the first strawberries. And it reminds you of the first argument that this couple had. The sweetness of the love and the forgiveness and the tartness of the words that were said. So when you eat strawberries, remember the story and watch what you say. Instead of saying tartness, say love. Oh, that is a Cherokee story.
Oh.
That is a Cherokee story. I heard it, so long ago, but it's perfect for this time.
Mm-hmm.
And we just, Valentine and love and all this. So yeah, there's love and candies and sweetness and all this. But remember, sometimes when you eat another fruit, taste it. Don't just eat it. Taste it. Enjoy the taste. And try to think of a story that can be created by the taste of that fruit.
Let that fruit and sensation to inspire you? Or
Yeah.
what that takes
The
you?
watermelon, the mango, the pineapple, the thing that, oh, yeah. So they all have their own individual taste, just like we are, all individuals. Try to think of what the story comes with that. And I don't know where that came from. Just thoughts.
We'll have to have another fruit episode sometime.
We do.
Yeah.
Did we do fruit?
I don't think, not a fruit one, but I feel like it's come up a few times. We've shared a few stories about.
We didn't do fruit last year?
No.
We did
Candy.
and toys.
Yeah, that was a fun episode.
Candy and toys. Yeah, we had fun looking we had fun eating those candies too.
Yeah. Oh man, we had candy for so long.
Oh, and we had fun going to the mercado because then we went to mi tierras to eat.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
That was a fun day.
It's always fun.
Yeah.
It's always fun. Every time we go somewhere, it's always fun.
We were gonna find food. So it's the first
Oh yeah,
food and snacks.
definitely. And I came last week to the restaurant that we found down the street,
Uh-huh.
and I came by myself. Usually I don't go to eat by myself. It's no fun. But yeah, I came by myself, and it was good.
Oh, good.
It was good.
I'm glad
I
we found
enjoyed
that
it,
spot.
yeah.
It's been our favorite. It's like a little tradition of us before
Mhm.
sword time we go have
Yeah.
lunch together. That's always
Yeah,
fun.
because it's a new section, new area of town, and we really don't know what is around here.
So getting familiar with the neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
trying to
So-
meet the neighbors.
This next story, we bring Coyote. Coyote is, like I say, he's always trying to get somebody to do his dirty work. He's always hungry, but he doesn't want to work for the food. He doesn't want to hunt for it. He just wants it to be given to him, pretty much. So he decided, walking around, he came to an area where there were a lot of hickory nut trees. And he loves hickory nuts. But they're too hard to crack. So he doesn't even try to crack them. But he knows that deer can crack those nuts real easy. So he says, I'll just wait for deer to come and then I'll play a trick on him. And sure enough, deer comes by and he sees all these nuts and starts cracking them and cracking them and cracking them. And right when he has a good pile of cracked nuts, hickory nuts, Coyote runs out and says, my friend, hurry, run, run. There's a man with a gun coming this way and he wants to kill you. Well, deer takes a big leap and he's gone. Coyote eats the hickory nuts and he laughs and laughs and laughs. So he goes off and sits down and rests a little while and falls asleep, and he wakes up and he's hungry again. And he said, who can I trick into giving me some food? He said, I know, Bear. Bear is probably by the river right now looking for fish. I think I'll just walk down there. So there goes Coyote looking for Bear down to the river. And sure enough, there's Bear waiting for the fish to come up, and he's catching them, come up and put them to the side, and some he eats, some he puts to the side. And Coyote waits till Bear has a good amount of fish there. And he runs out and said, my friend, your wife is caught in a trap. She's dying. You've got to go save her. Hurry, hurry. Off goes Bear to save his wife. Coyote eats a fish and he laughs and laughs and laughs as he goes off. Well, it's getting kind of late, so he just decides to not trick anybody anymore. His belly is full, so he's okay. In the morning, he wakes up and he's hungry. He says, I wonder what I could eat. Let me walk about. So he's walking about, looking to see what he can eat. And then he spots a tree. He knows that tree. And there's a big hole in the tree, and he knows that in that tree is a home of some bees, some honeybees. And he loves honey. Oh, he just loves to get it all over him and chew his fingers and he just clean them up because he loves that honey. But he knows he can't get to them because the bees are going to sting him. So he looks around and what can I do? Who can I trick? And then he notices another tree. In that tree is a squirrel. And he goes, got her now. So he goes up to the squirrel. He said, squirrel, my friend, I just have to tell you, I just went by that tree over there, and in that big hole that's there, it is full of acorns. And I know how much you love acorns. So I thought I would come and let you know that they were there because you're such a good friend. I'm going to give them all to you. Oh, thank you, my friend Coyote, says Squirrel. And off she goes. And sure enough, she goes into the hole and she comes out running and squeaking because the honeybees are all on her. She's running and all the bees are behind her, following her. Coyote gets his hand in there and he just eats and eats all that honey. And when he's done, he laughs and laughs and laughs. Well, all this time that he's been doing all this, Rabbit, who is also a trickster, has been seeing what Coyote has been doing. He said, okay. So off goes Rabbit looking and looking to see what he can find. And he finds a bush with little red berries. And he gets a little gourd and opens it up and makes a hole in it and puts all these little red berries in it and brings it and looks for Coyote. And Coyote, he said, my friend Coyote, look, I found all these little red berries. They are so sweet. I already ate my fill, but because you are my friend,
Mhm.
I saved these for you. Well, Coyote was so hungry and he's such a rude fella. He didn't even say thank you. He just gobbled up the whole thing. And he's enjoying those red berries. And all of a sudden, he howls and steam comes out of his ears and out of his nose. And oh, he's holding his stomach and he's howling and howling and howling. And Rabbit is laughing and laughing and laughing. You see, the gourd was full of what we call chilepitin. They're super, super hot little bitty berries. I mean, they are hot, burning fire. And he just gobbled them all up. And so he ran to the river and drank water and drank water and drank water, but nothing helped. So all he could do was all day and all night just howl and howl. And his stomach, oh, it was hurting so bad. And now, when Coyote sees little red berries, the reminder comes back, and the pain and the ache and the howling all over again. And as far as Rabbit is concerned, he just laughs and laughs and laughs. Not good to be a trickster sometimes. Oh,
Oh. Don't ever like it when you're on the other side of the tricks. It's all
Yeah.
fun and games until you're on the other side of the prank.
yeah. And so when you hear Coyote howling, you know why.
Mhm.
His relatives are remembering how he howled and what it came about.
Payback.
Payback.
Like a big payback.
Yeah, there's always somebody watching.
Mhm.
You may think you're getting away with something and that, but no, there's always somebody watching in that. And so Deer was not haunted. Later on he was, but not in this story. And Bear, his wife, was safe. And who was in it? A squirrel.
Squirrel.
Eventually,
I
She
hope y'all
was-
chase those bees.
she outran them or something, and bees came back to protect their honey, but Coyote had already eaten the honey.
Mhm. That's a good story. I like that one.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that one before. Is that a new one?
No, that's an old
Oh.
one. That's one of the old ones. I don't remember whose story that one's from, but that's one of the old. Oh no, I wrote that one.
I was
Wait
gonna
a minute.
say, I
I'm
was
going-
all like, you're the only person I know that writes
I wrote
Coyote
that one a
songs
long
or
time ago.
stories.
I forget sometimes because I'm always writing stories.
Mhm.
I have containers full of stories that I've written that I've never told. And this story is on the CD. And in order for me to remember it, I had to listen to the CD this morning because I did not remember it at all. I knew what the red berries were, but it just hit me.
Remember all the details is tough, especially when you have so many stories like you do. You have like
And
volumes.
they cross each other. And so sometimes it's hard to separate them because they all want to be told. But this time I was just going to bring 3 stories. And so I don't know how much time we have left, so I'm going to have to release.
30 minutes.
How much?
30 minutes.
30. Oh, okay. I got to come up with more stories.
No.
Okay, I got to tell more lies. This one is a new story that I just read. I was looking for some, but for some reason I couldn't get on the computer. I mean, I could get on it, but I would get on it and I would get sleepy. It was real strange.
Mhm.
I would start to read and I would get so sleepy, so I would turn it off. And that's been happening lately. I don't know why. When I get on the computer, I get sleepy. I did manage to find something that I wanted to find, and but it's crazy because I never do that. Usually, I want to see what's going on Instagram or with Pinterest or that, but this time
You're a very
no.
busybody. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
always at
no,
the middle of the night.
Right now,
creating.
it's writing all weekend with writing stories, but I'm saving those for next week. For
Good.
next week,
I know.
I'll tell them about next week. Kind of prepare them,
So for our next episode, our final installment of season 3 for Story Tribe with Grandma Coyote, we will be on location at Natural Bridge Caverns, and our focus for the week is going to be stones and caverns, talking about indigenous stories and stone teachings, and the way that stones have taught us lessons or give us messages. Uh, and we'll be filming, like I said, live on location at Natural Bridge Caverns. Be fun, give us an excuse to go on another field trip excursion. We haven't done one this season, and then who knows what we'll be inspired by when we see there.
Yeah, when I went to Natural Bridge Caverns, it was totally different from what I went like. I don't think I've been there in 7, 8 years. So you can, when I was in school is when I went. It was really different. The entrance was real different. So I don't know what it's like. There used to be like a cavern to the side, like an overhang. And they used to say the story at that time that they gave us was that there was a hermit living there in that overhang thing for years, forever. Whatever happened to him, I don't know. But if he just went away, or he passed away, or he stayed there till he died, or what. But the caverns, we did the caverns came in the Grutas de Garcia in Mexico by Saltillo in that area. Grutas or grottos. You have to the little train takes you up in this way. Because the opening is way on top of the mountain, and you go in, and it's about a mile that you have to walk, and you get to an area. You go in, and then you get to an area with the dance floor, and it's all natural, just very flat land in that. And there is a hole at the very top of the mountain that shines like a spotlight on the dance floor. Well, you can stay there if you get too tired because you don't want to make the whole round, because it's going to come around and you're going to end up there, and then you're going to go out, get on that little train that's going to take you down the mountain again. They're beautiful caverns, beautiful caverns. And there was a gentleman that couldn't go anymore. So he stayed there with all the cameras and all that, typical tourist cameras all over the place. And so we did the round, and we're way on the other side before coming back, because they wanted us to see a nativity set. They turned all the lights off, and you could hear this loud roar. GD, who turned out the lights? He thought that the lights had been turned out and everybody had left. He didn't know that we were going to come around and pick him up and then go out, but he thought he had been left in there all by himself. It was funny at the time. He got so scared, and we could like turn the lights on, everybody, because it turned all the lights. And but he came back, and he was angry. He was laughing. He said, "I thought y'all guys left me," and the whole thing. And it was kind of funny at the time, because the roaring that he yelled, it was so loud, and he's cussing everything out because he was angry. And then he found out, no, it was just the lights that had been turned off, and he came back. But it was a beautiful I love caverns. I like
caverns. To go. I usually visit after it rains for a few days here. I'll go visit them because you can see the rain falling to the caverns, and you can hear it. And there are natural pools that collect inside the caverns. It's a natural aquifer. So the more rain that we get in hill country, the more that they fill up inside. And so if you go on a real good day after a few days of rain, some of the caverns will fill up with water, and with the way they have the lighting inside of it, it looks like big pools of just blue glowing water. So it's a very beautiful place, and so I hope we feel very inspired on our visit, and see how that kind of stems into future stories, or how we can talk about the way that the natural world forms around us, maybe some geology lessons, or who knows, we'll see what we get inspired by there.
I used to be afraid when we went the first time to the Natural Bridge, because I don't know what it's like now. Like I say, as you go in, there would be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of spiders, little white spiders. They look like sticks. and they're white because they're in there. There's no light in there for them. So the whole thing would be full, and there was nothing to worry about, but it's just the idea that you're going under a whole bunch of spiders. So that was, like I said, I don't know what they look like now. And we mentioned right now, earlier, about Cave Without a Name. I went when I was a young girl too in school. And they told us that the story how the owner of the property found out that there was caverns under there was one of his goats or sheep or something fell in a hole. So he had to go in there to bring up his animal, and that's how he found out
That he lived on top of a cavern.
that he was on top of the cavern. And that was Cave Without a Name. And there were some others around here. I don't remember which ones they were. I know Natural Bridge and Cave Without a Name, but there were a couple of others
Those are the only two that I know of.
that, but that was way back
Mhm.
when I was in school. Can you imagine? If I graduated in 57, you can imagine how far back that goes. And so caverns are beautiful.
Yeah.
I love them. We went to some, oh, what were they? It was going out highway, like going to El Paso. And that you go off into some little town and the caverns are there. Those are the most beautiful caverns I've ever seen. Every turn you made, it was totally different from the one you've been in.
Mhm.
It was all completely different. They were really, really very pretty.
Yeah. Look forward to it.
So I'm looking forward to
Mhm.
to Thursday to doing
Yeah.
to going to for our next one well whenever we do the next one.
Yeah, it'll be our last episode, season 4.
Mhm.
And so, what a day.
Yeah, there's another story that we always have a reason to why do things happen. Native people always have the answers. We know all the answers. Just ask us, we'll tell you. And again, something just popped in. There was on Instagram, then there's this guy that comes on and he's a wonderful dancer. I mean, he does chicken dance, he does hoop dancing, he does traditional, he does, is it North, not, I don't know why I'm thinking Northern Cree, but it's not. But he does all these beautiful dances. And they asked him, what do they call it? Powwow. And I thought it was because of that powwow coming up. And he just gives them a crazy answer. He said, because when we're out there, they say this is pow. And everybody said, wow, which is not the real reason for it, but this he gave them. And I texted him back, I said, good answer. I wonder how many people really believe that that's how it got the name for a powwow, which is not it at all. It is not that kind of a gathering at all. But I loved his answer to that, which I don't know why I went that direction. Well, I guess because we have a powwow coming up.
Mhm.
Y'all are
Yeah,
putting
actually,
it
this
on.
coming Saturday, April 20th, at Texas A&M University here in San Antonio, we'll be co-hosting I believe, the 44th annual United San Antonio Fiesta Powwow. It is an official Fiesta event. It is the only Native American event on the Fiesta calendar, so it's a pretty big deal. But it's a full day of powwow dancers, native art, vendors. You can try some powwow food, and so it's just a fun time. And so we invite you all out there in San Antonio to come visit us this Saturday. You can get all the details on our website at AIT-SCM.org. We're about done for time for this afternoon. So, Grandma, would you like to? Oh,
one more little quick story. Have I got enough time for? This story is the one that I said I was looking for. Coyote challenged Cloud to a race, and Cloud said, "Okay, we can do a race. If I win, I bet we're going to have storms." Coyote said, "Well, if I win, we're going to have fair weather." Well, they both had magic, both Cloud and Coyote. So they start the race. It was way, way far to the south when they start the race. And sure, Coyote's going. He leaves Cloud way behind. And he looks back. Yeah, Cloud is so far behind. He still keeps going. But Cloud, remember, I said had magic. So she makes a whole bunch of fruit trees grow in front of Coyote. Coyote looks back again. And yeah, Cloud is way, way back there. So he starts eating fruit from all the different trees and goes to the other one and eats some more and eats some more. Well, he's so busy eating, he forgets all about Cloud. So Cloud passes him up and wins the race.
Mhm.
So that is why we have storms. But Cloud was not all bad. Cloud decided that we could also have fair weather. Oh,
Oh. That's a new original story.
yeah, that is a new one.
Good.
That is a new one. So,
Here's hoping we get some more rain this week. That's all. Could use some more rain in San Antonio.
did you have a powwow?
Well, this weekend, but I hope it doesn't. I hope the powwow's beautiful, but I hope this week we get rain.
Okay. So, it's been fun.
Oh, sure has.
It's been fun. And if I talk too much, I'm sorry, but that's who I am. So, and if I'm holding my hand and doing all this, somebody just gifted me a stone. Look how beautiful. I was just gifted a stone a while ago, and it's feeling good energy. Everything, good things are coming from it. So it goes to Donovan's collection. He has a
Wow.
collection of stones. You name it, he's got it. He's got some very unusual ones that he's been gifted. They
Mhm.
have gifted him some of these. So whenever I find something, I
Something
add it
special.
to his collection too. And every now and then they have to come out in full moon and get cleaned up
Recharged.
and re-energized and everything. And he's not around, so Mama does it for him.
Oh, sweet. I'm sure he'll love that one. It's very pretty.
Oh yeah, he goes and looks at him, and I put him somewhere, and he rearranges them.
Mhm.
He rearranges
Makes him his own.
to on his own the way he likes, and he'll notice when there's a different one. He says, "I didn't have this one." I said, "It was way at the bottom." No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I didn't have this one. So I like to try to challenge him. It doesn't work.
Too clever for you. They're too sharp.
Yeah. And Grandma's as dull as can be.
Oh, no.
There's no sharpness in Grandma. So what do you want to talk about?
Well, I think we're done for today, actually, Grandma.
Okay.
We're going to go ahead and invite everyone to come join us next Monday at the same time from 4 to 5 p.m. here on the couch. But of course, next week's going to be a lot more special. We'll be on location. Be sure to check us out and make sure to comment to leave us your feedback or thoughts on how you enjoyed this episode of Storytime with Grandma Coyote. And we look forward to seeing you again next week.
Yes, please, with a comment. So,
Yeah.
because I want to know, what do you want to hear? What is it that you want to hear me say, or am I talking too much? And that, it's all right. I understand. I do. And so any kind of feedback is always positive for me.
Yeah. So we look forward to seeing you next week, folks. Until then, adios.